Hi, this is Mike from Random Bits RV, and this next video is a little bit different. In fact, you may not have any interest in watching this at all, but the story is, as a video content creator, I have had a personal goal of creating a video that featured my parents standing in front of the houses that they grew up in as children and sharing with the camera the memories that they've had living in those houses, and a little bit of story about their childhood as well. I recently had an opportunity to do just that. I'll tell you that when I lived in my house, I lived in Jacksonville, Florida. My parents live in Austin, Texas. That's 1,000 miles apart. Jacksonville is 1,000 miles exactly from the town where I grew up in Indiana. It's 1,000 miles from where my parents live in Austin. So it's that 1,000-mile triangle that sometimes was very hard to negotiate and make this video happen. However, I was recently lucky enough where my siblings jumped on a plane and flew up near my hometown of Michigan City, Indiana. And Dawn and I happened to be 500 miles away in Rochester, Minnesota. So we made the journey from Minnesota to our hometown, got to meet up with my dad, and I got to put him on camera talking about his childhood memories in the various parts of the town that he lived in the various houses. So for me, this video is priceless. For you, you may not find it interesting at all. However, if you want to watch it, you're welcome to. If you don't, I certainly understand. But this fulfills a goal of mine. And you may ask me, Mike, what does this have to do with RVing? And the video has absolutely nothing to do with RVing, but it has everything to do with why I RV full-time. Here's my dad.
My name is Phil Gondek. I'm Michael's dad. And this is Random Bits RV. This is the house I was born in here. And I don't remember it, but the story has it that a week after I was born, that my mother accidentally dropped me when she was going down to the basement, and I got run all the way down to the basement. Maybe that's what this head is all messed up.
The whole flight.
I got the whole flight, the whole step, every one of them. And a week before that, before I was born, my mother was doing the polkas down at somebody, I think it was Peggy Seedorf's wedding, that she was doing polka, doing dancing while she was pregnant with me. I say I don't remember when we moved out of this because I was just a baby. We're going to go to the next house. That's 406 Derby Street, which is just around the corner down here.
So you were actually born in the house, no hospital?
I was born in that house, not in the hospital. I don't even remember. Dr. Bernarski, I guess was the attending physician. I don't remember. The good Polish doctor. Good Polish doctor, yeah. Yeah, and this is the first time I got in trouble. I was telling Corey and Philip, this is the first time I got in trouble. I must have been 6 or 7 years old in this lot over here. That used to be an empty lot. And when the circus come to town, that's where they set up the circus tents, side shows and everything.
Right there at Carlson's.
Yeah, the whole lot there, yeah. And, well, I must have been maybe 6 or 7 years old. And 6 or 7 years old, and my brother Ed and Joseph, both of them, took me to the circus. And we came here early in the afternoon, probably 1 o'clock or so. And they kept me there until, it was way after dark, way after the circus was over. And it must have been 10:30, 11 o'clock before we got home. Yeah, well, before Carlson's was there, the National Tea came in there. A&P was the only supermarket we had in Michigan City at the time that I can remember. That was in the 1930s and 40s. But National Tea moved over here in the early 50s. And that's the first job my brother Larry got, was working at National Tea.
So I remember Uncle Larry working at the grocery store off of Michigan Boulevard.
That's right, yes, that was a National Tea also.
Yeah.
And he started here.
Huh.
Started in produce and ended up in produce until they closed up all the National Tea.
And so we're at the corner of Wabash and Cool Spring.
Wabash and Cool Spring. And from here we moved to Derby Street. We're going to go over there next. I'll show you where it was at. Derby Street was my favorite house.
Whoops.
Anybody coming out with a gun?
Not yet, not yet. Not even looking out the windows yet.
Okay, maybe this is abandoned, I don't know. Yeah, the good memories of that house, I'm telling you, man, that's...
Yeah, get out of the picture. He
That
was
where
right now.
I probably had my most fun as a child growing up in this house over here, 406 Derby Street. And I was telling the other kids that there was a lamppost behind us over there, and when that thing went on at nighttime in the summertime, that was my signal to get in the house. The older kids could stay out, but I had to go in when the light went on. And I can remember bats flying around that thing.
We're on the light.
Around the light, they're diving down there. Yeah. I spent World War II in this house over here growing up. And right next to it, just north of it, there's a great house that wasn't there. That was an empty lot. And we had what my dad called a victory garden for a World War II war effort. And I remember as a child, Joe and my brother Joe and Ed, all three of us had to go out there and spade that thing up by hand. We had to turn the ground up by hand in the springtime to plant their vegetables. No flowers at the time. This all good stuff to eat. My dad, especially pickles. My dad pickled his own pickles, and I've taken up that now. I do my own pickling now too, and I'm pretty good at it. But this house here is my most memorable one. I remember on the backside there was an alley that goes over there, and if you go out of the attic, you could go up onto a roof of the back way entrance. And we used to go up there and jump off of that thing and fly little paper airplanes off of that thing. That was fun. And a lot of fun. My best friend, Butch Landsberg, lived down the street over here, about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 5 houses down on the left. And I just love this place, man. The fact is, I've had thoughts of buying this house if I ever moved back to Michigan City. If you want to hear any more, I can't think of anything else to say to y'all. Except I love this place, man. The kid growing up here, we never called it Halloween, we called it Beggar's Night, man. I think there's some good candy around here. 406 Derby Street, that's it. All right.
Okay,
Come on, buddy. My big buddy.
He was born in this, or raised in this
No, I
house,
was
so we
raised in
just
this
get
house.
nostalgia. I'm sorry.
Rhonda?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, for heaven's sakes, I've heard.
Oh, wait, we gotta get this on.
No, don't get me on anything.
Phil, what's the name of this street?
Derby. Derby Street. Yeah.
D-I-R-B-Y.
D-E-R-C-Y.
We got a reputation, I guess.
No, I just remember my mom saying the Gupdecks lived there.
Yeah.
You are
Philip.
Philip. Yeah, we've owned that house since you guys left.
Is that right?
really?
Is that was 1947? or-
48. I was 2 years old.
Wow.
I grew up in this house.
Did ya? Wow. I'll take you in and you can look at the downstairs if you want.
I wouldn't mind taking a look in there
Come on.
because y'all want to come with me?
Hey, Dad. So the stories of you back in the 40s, this is the room we all used to listen to the radio?
Yep.
In that room in there?
Yeah.
That's that I've heard the stories of the...
Probably in the same place because our radio's set where the TV is. We listen to that slow.
Quit hitting the wall so hard.
Yeah, they do hit the ball hard. Yeah.
Take up this.
Yeah, these steps weren't here when I was growing up. It was easy to go down this hill. Yeah. I can't. I told Philip and Corey and them on the way here that Butch Landsberg, my best friend, used to live down just right by that white picket fence down there. And I remember going. His grandmother and grandfather owned this house, and they lived on Barker Ave, just east of Franklin Street. And I remember going there and paying $25 a month for rent.
Yeah.
In the summertime, we didn't do it in the wintertime. I guess Dad done it in the wintertime. Okay, where do you want to go? You want to go to my Grandma Gundeck? Grandma Yastrzemski?
Wherever you'd like to go.
Okay, we're going to Grandma Yastrzemski.
Any place that you've got some great memories here that you don't mind sharing?
I don't mind sharing all, yeah. Grandpa Joe Gundeck, he died before I was born, or he might have been a little right after, but I don't remember. You know, I remember my grandma's. They come to this house and they had an old 8mm camera, and I used to watch Joe Louis fight. I forget the guy. Oh, I'll remember it sometime. This is the house that when my sister Charlotte was born that they sent us over here. My brother Chuck and my brother Larry, the two older brothers, they probably weren't around. They gallivanting. But when my sister Charlotte was being born on Derby Street, this is where they sent, my mom and dad sent us over here to grandma's house. And I was 5 or 6 years old, I forget, maybe 5. And we got home and they said, here's your baby sister Charlotte. So that was something. Okay, now we're going to go up here to St. Stanislaus Church. You can see it from here if you take a look up. If you want to take a look at that camera, that big church steeple there on the right. So, there's fond memories of that house too, because I remember Grandma was she didn't speak English, but she was such a good cook, man. She was a lot of Polish. Well, I think that's where my dad got his skills of cooking Polish food, Eastern European. I don't remember Grandpa Joe Gundig as I do Grandma Anna. She was. I think that I was her sweetheart too. I think she tried to spoil me. She took care of me pretty good. I do remember that. Then after visiting Grandma, then I go across the street and then to visit Auntie and Uncle Joe Navitsky. In fact, Uncle Joe Navitsky worked right over here. Yeah, fond memories. Really, really fond. All right, we're going to go up there to St. Stanislaus. Philip wants to see what school that they sent me walking past to go to St. Mary's. There's a car coming, watch yourself.
And was this the school that you walked to barefoot uphill both ways?
I did not walk barefoot.
In the winter?
In the winter time.
I think you told me you did.
No, that's if I did, I'm sorry about that. I should not have told you that story, no. But we walked on Wabash Street past St. Stan's because my mom didn't want us kids to learn how to speak Polish because everybody in the family spoke Polish, and I think she was afraid that we'd be talking about her in Polish and she wouldn't understand what we were saying. And that's the reason why we didn't go there. I would love to have gone to St. Stan's. In fact, as we joined that parish after I was, the funny part about it is how close it was to Derby Street where I grew up at, and West 9th Street where we moved after we lived in Derby Street, is that I walked past St. Mary's Parish to go to St. Stan's because I joined them as the parish over there. That's ironic, isn't it?
Yep.
Passing one when I'm growing up to go to school and joining the parish and walking past the one that I went to. All right, we're going to go take a good look at that, and then I guess we're going to go over to West 9th Street. This is St. Stanislaus Church right here behind Michael. I joined this parish after I grew up. I think I was about 16 or 17 years old. That was 1960, when President Kennedy got assassinated. I always remember this parish. But then over here to my left is the school that I wish I would have gone to. But my parents decided not to send us there. They sent us over to St. Mary's. And I had to walk past it. I walked past it all the way down to 11th Street, 11th and Wabash Ave to go to school. Because my mother did not want us to learn how to speak Polish. And they taught both in English and Polish. And that's probably the top of my bucket list last night. Maybe the last thing I got on my bucket list is to go to Poland and see if I can find my grandparents' home in Poland. And if I get over there, I wish I could speak the native language, Polish. This is wrong to tell you what, this brings back a lot of old memories here in Michigan City today. Kind of chokes me up at times. I guess I wouldn't be human if I didn't choke up about these memories. The first room on the left over here is the first grade. That's where
You remember that, huh?
Yeah. Just as I remember.
This
was my first grade class right here.
Get out of here.
Yep, this is it. I don't remember his sister's name that taught that class. I remember so much so well. There's a message on his door. It is. When I walked in, I remember this hallway. I remember this as my first grade class.
I'm a ruler. If it hurts as much now.
Yeah. The upper grades were up on the second floor. 8th grade was up there on the top left.
This is where your classroom is?
This is where my first grade class. Yeah. Not a classroom anymore. But
Carpet's the same.
This stretch is, yeah.
So what's the closet you were talking about?
Huh?
What's the book room you were talking about?
Well, that's up on the, like I said, in 8th grade.
Oh, 8th grade?
Up there on the top.
How many years did you go here?
8.
No, oh, really?
Probably like this little area here, but from that wall to that wall, maybe out a little bit wider with shelves and with books on it. That's her sister Benedict. But I think she liked me, but I don't know sometimes. But anyway, she would close the door after she put me in there and pulled her chair up next to it so I couldn't get out. And like I was telling Philip and Corey and them, Sister Benedict must weigh 250, 300 pounds. No way I could have got out with her sitting on that chair. But she only left me in there 10, 15 minutes let me out. But the only thing is that you didn't know that the answer book for the math was in there. For the answers for the math quiz. So I kind of got the hold of that thing and passed math real easy. What a foul memory that's coming in this building. Yeah. From the first grade to the 8th grade in this building here, that's great, man. First grade to the 8th grade. What? Everybody else sees this thing and never remember Sister Aloysius Marie. God bless you guys. Well, on the other side of the church is a convent where the nuns used to live. And that's where Sister, I used to have to meet her on the back door after school. Walk down 11th Street to go to A&P store for her to buy vegetables. I remember broccoli. Maybe that's why I don't like broccoli. Because Sister Aloysius Marie would send me down there to buy broccoli for the nuns about once a week after school. For punishment, but I still think she loved me. Would you go like that with a thimble on the end of your finger if you done something bad? And almost every day I done something bad.
I don't know what to say about that.
You don't know what to say about that, huh? So I'm going to go and get in this car and go over to West 9th Street and show the kids where we lived after we were off of Derby Street. We moved after Derby Street.
The White House?
The White House, the flag. This is the house my dad lived in when he died. He didn't die here, he died in Hines Veterans Hospital in Chicago.
The VA hospital in Chicago, right?
Yeah, the VA hospital in Chicago. Hines for Veterans. We moved here in 47 or 48, yeah, something like that. In fact, up there, that was my bedroom up there in that, with the windows there, the 2 windows. First house that they owned on their own. They had everything else before we lived here was rentals.
Right.
This is an old couple lived in this house, and their daughter, who was probably in her late 40s, early 50s, still lived with them too. She was a nurse at, I think St. Anthony's Hospital. She was a nurse. And next door were all them bushes. There used to be a house there, and that was a Seedorf. It wasn't Louis and Peggy. That was another Seedorf that lived there. They called him Shadow. I never did know what it was. I always called him Shadow too because that's what my dad said his name was. So that was Shadow Seedorf, and he was pretty good. He was a well-versed. This fence was nothing but fenced in over here. And we bought here. The finish was the basement wasn't finished, but my brother Joe, he built a little recreation room down there with a wet bar and everything in it. Oh, I can remember too on the other side of this house over here. That's yeah, remember now, this is way back in the 40s, the late 40s.
I was going to say my childhood goes back 40 years.
But on the, well, you can't see it. Oh yeah, that other thing, I think they got boarded up there just before the the porch starts, that back porch over there. That was the furnace room, and that in that area there was where the coal bin was at. And in them days we had coal heat. We didn't have oil or we didn't have gas, but I can remember in the wintertime we'd have to get the coal, and they put that coal down in the bins over there. Just like on Derby Street, my dad used to get up early in the morning and stoke the fire. He'd keep it up, hit the, I don't know what they call it, banked it in the nighttime, and then in the morning he would go down and stoke it and get the fire, get some heat going up to the house. And then eventually we did get gas heat in this house. Yeah. Probably most of my boyhood friends, other than Derby Street when I was just a kid, Butch Landsberg and Butch Hankey were my friends down there, and they had older brothers, but I guess you'd call them friends too. But this is where most of my friends, Charlie Stimley, Ronnie Erickson, Michael Goldberg lived across the railroad track over there. The Haasses lived down here on the other side of Willard Ave on Patrick Street. But there were more kids my age lived in this neighborhood than they did on Derby Street. And we had a lot of fun. I used to sit on, after the Huntley and Brinkley news went on in the air, went off the air, then I'd come out here and I sat on his front porch. And that time, my good friend Bob Kinsel lived over there at 1036.
And who was that?
Bob Kinsel, Robert Kinsel. Robert and Vita, we were members of the VAB together also. But Bob and I used to go up to Minnesota fishing in the late summer, probably halfway through August, maybe the last week of August, with Johnny Simsky and his wife. Johnny owned a tavern down here on 8th or 11th and Franklin Street. But we go up there from anywhere from a week to 10 days, driving up to Minnesota. Bob done the drive for Johnny. Johnny was old and didn't feel like driving all that much himself, so Bob and I would go with him and his wife. And we caught some pretty good fish up there, some northern pike and some, the fact is I caught a big mouth bass up there, maybe 6 or 7 pounds. I'll never forget that one. Yeah, this is it. This is West 9th Street. This is the house that I grew up in my teens. The place on Derby Street was my early years. Oh, and I was telling the kids, we went to the Museum of Science and Industry yesterday, and we saw a big old coal-fired steam engine. So I was telling Jackie, who was with me at the time, that when we were kids, we'd hear a train coming. We would run like the dickens down to that railroad track. See, it was one of them newfangled, what we call it, well, we call them bullet trains at the time because they looked like a bullet, but they were the new diesels that came out. And it was exciting for us, man. Something different. Probably when you guys get e-phones or telephones and all that other stuff over, get all excited about that new stuff. Well, that was new stuff for us, and we really enjoyed that, running down there. Oh, here comes one, yeah. Oh, it's an old steam engine.
Of course, now you probably would rather see the old steam engine.
I would rather see the old,
train, right?
Yeah, I kind of got a thrill of that yesterday over at the Museum of Science and Industry, seeing that big old locomotive there. Let's go see. Oh my goodness, John Rutzak too. I went to school with John.
Did you?
Yeah. Bobby Dorshek too, I knew Bobby, man. He worked with me at when I was butchering chickens over here on West 9th Street and right across the river.
The MIA.
Very bottom one, the MIA.
Yeah. Donald Tramsky. Yeah, I knew 2 of them gentlemen up there. Robert Dorset, we call Bobby. And Rutzig, John Rutzig. Went to school with John at St. Mary's.
There was a Medal of Honor recipient.
What's the name? The one that I know?
I don't know. I don't remember.
That's him, Danny Bruce.
You knew Danny Bruce?
Danny Bruce. In fact, your mother babysat him.
Get out of here.
Yep, I'm telling you right now, that's who. I hope you can get a shot of that there so your mother can see this. That is really something.
I will, and I got pictures of it from last time I was
yeah.
here. I just didn't know there was a connection.
Yep, they lived on Plymouth Court, and when your mother was living on Plymouth Court, she babysat this guy.
I'll be darned.
Yeah, we saw him on the wall in Washington D.C.
Did you?
Yeah, the Vietnam Memorial Wall.
So,
Your grandma babysat this. ¿Qué pasa?
You guys are older than
Chicago White Sox.
Okay, Nancy. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the club. Buy me some peanuts and cracker jack. I don't care if I ever get back or it's root for the White Sox. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes you're out at the old ball.